Okay, so let's start up Visual Studio. So here we go. Right, I don't actually have a Microsoft account, so I need to create one. So I'll click on this. Then I just type in my email or phone number. Okay, so I've now created an account, so now I can sign in. Right, let's just put my email address in here, which I'm not going to show you again. Okay, so now I've created my Microsoft account and I've been allowed to start Visual Studio. So the first thing to do is to open File, and then New, and then Project. So we have Visual C++ selected. If you don't have this on here, you can open the Visual Studio installer, like so. So now we have to go into the Visual Studio installer again. Okay, so you need to go back into the installer which you saw before, make sure that the C++ desktop development is selected. It's already selected here, so there's nothing to do, but if you don't have that, then you need to select that and then install it. Okay. Right, so this is just a list of what I've already got installed. Okay, so going back to this, so we need to select Visual C++. Okay, so in here we select Empty Project, and we're going to call this project Hello World. Now we wait for it to create that. Okay, so it seems to have done that. Now we do Project, then Properties, Linker, and then we select System, and then we select Subsystem, and from here we choose Subsystem Console. So this will mean that our application will run in a console window. It won't be a graphical application with lots of Windows code in it. Okay, so that seems to have succeeded. The next thing we do is select Project and add New Item. Visual C++, we add a C++ file. I'm going to call this hello world.cpp, and then we add that to the project. Okay, so we've now got an empty file where we can type our source code. So I'll type in the source code, which is also on a slide, which you can copy in for yourself. This is probably all complete gibberish if you haven't done any C++ before, but don't worry about it. Just make sure you type everything exactly as it is on the handout. So if you make any mistakes at all, it won't be accepted. Okay, so let's save that. And then let's see if we can build it. So let's try build solution. Okay, so it's started. Now it's compiling hello world.cpp. And okay, so our build has succeeded. So let's see if we can run this program. To do this, you go into debug, and then start without debugging. There isn't actually a run command. Normally on IDEs you have a command you can just click to run the program, but here you have to start without debugging. So there we are, hello world, and we have this text underneath, press any key to continue. That's not anything that's part of our program. What's happened is that Windows has popped up this console, this little window for our program to run in, and the window closes as soon as the program exits. So in this case it would start up, print out hello world, and then exit again, so we wouldn't actually see anything. This way the window is stopping and waiting for us, so we have time to look at the output and see if it's all right. So that's all fine, so we can just press a key to close that window. So just to show you some of the things that can go wrong, I'll remove this semicolon here. So you can see that there's a little star next to the file name, so that means it's out of date. So the version in the IDE is not the same as the version of the file that's on disk, so we save it to make sure that it's all up to date. Then let's see what happens when we try to build this. Well, there we are. Expected a semicolon, syntax error, missing a semicolon before closing brackets. So if we switch back to the output, it actually tells us that the error is in line 7. In fact, the error was on line 6, but the problem is that in C++, if you don't put a semicolon, it just runs on to the next line. So the compiler just went on and thought it would find something. Then when it got to line 7, it didn't find it. And you can see there it's actually popping up expected a semicolon. So we know where the line is and we know what the problem is. So we can just put our semicolon back in. Okay, so there we are, our first Hello World program. You are now officially a C++ programmer. Welcome to the club. I'll see you in the next video, but in the meantime, keep coding.